morning, Mark. How's everything today?
Good morning, Lawrence. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So about 12 hours ago, we say 12 and a half hours ago, the Clippers players are all in their facility doing coronavirus-related testing and everything. They were discussing how that was going to possibly affect today's game. I wonder what that process was like for y'all. Did the Thunder players also have to go through testing last night? And what's that like on the road?
Yeah, we did. We're all operating under the same protocols, I'm assuming. So, we did. And our mentality, Lawrence, has just been, to continue to embrace the opportunity to play and be grateful that we can come out here and compete and continue to put, our product on the floor for our fans during this time. And so, whatever hurdles we need to clear in order to do that, we're willing to clear, and our players have really embraced that mindset. We've had a lot of moving targets with this whole thing, just like everybody, and our guys have done an unbelievable job of remaining optimistic and just kind of, chewing it up and spitting it out. And so we're just trying to continue to do that and remain grateful to play the game.
Young Masik with ESPN.
Hey, Mark, nice meeting you. I wanted to ask the same thing along those same lines. We've talked to some other coaches that have come to LA and asked them how different it is being on a road trip here in LA, because LA is obviously seems to be a little more stricter than other cities teams have visited due to the health and safety protocols here. I was wondering, how different has this road trip been for you guys? What have you not been able to do or been able to do compared to some of your other road trips, like, when you guys were in New York, for example, for 2 games?
Well, the protocols in the NBA have changed and become more restrictive. And so it's less of a what market you're in at this point. And it's more just like, we're in the hotel no matter where we are because of the NBA's protocols. So the local communities are having less of an influence at this point over what we can and can't do. And it's more what the NBA is asking everybody to do, just to try to get this thing under control as best we can and control everything we can control. So it's less of an LA thing at this point. It's more just the NBA protocol.
Have you guys been able to do anything as a team, like to come together outside of coming to the arena, as far as meeting or anything like that? Or is everything just basically done on Zoom, even when you guys are at the hotel?
We had a team practice, which was great, to get everybody together. And other than that, there's no, team meetings, there's nothing like that. And so, you bump into each other at testing, and, in our hotel here, there's a nice little courtyard space. You'll see people, eating meals, but in terms of a full team thing, we haven't been able to do that at this point, other than team activities like practices and games.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick Gallo with Thunder Broadcasting.
Mark, just a question about last game as you looked at the film. Just your thoughts on areas that you guys can improve from, particularly around the glass and those second chances.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that tests you, and I thought that, they were the more ready team to play in the first quarter. And, that taught us a hard lesson. But I give our guys, like I mentioned the other night after the game, I give our guys a lot of credit because I thought we hung in there and continued to battle and continue to compete, which, as you guys know, has been a huge priority for us this year, is to just develop a 48-minute mindset, which starts in the first minute and continues through the 48th. And I thought, we course corrected well in the game, both from an execution standpoint and from an energy and competitiveness standpoint. And, gave ourselves a chance to crawl back into the game. Obviously it didn't work out, but, I was happy with the fight.
Kari Jones Jr. with Los Angeles Sentinel.
Kari, I think you're on mute.
What's going on, Coach? It's Kari Jones. I would like to ask you, just what you had spoken about that mindset with such a young team. How is it for you, a coach? How easy for you as a coach, or how beneficial for you is it to have guys who are willing to, go through this transition with such a positive mindset?
Yeah, we have a great group with that. Just an unbelievable collection of people that have great, competitive character, but also great personal character. it's not a young old thing. You know, we have Al Horford and Muscala, Darius Miller, George Hill. Those guys are veteran players that have been in the league a long time. And they have that mindset as well, and they model that mindset. And then we have a lot of guys that are earlier in their careers that are trying to learn how to be professionals and how to develop the mental skills that it takes to be a successful NBA player. And one of those skills is being adaptive and fighting through the ups and downs and remaining present and taking advantage of opportunities, being grateful. And those are the things that we're trying to, you know, water the soil with every single day. And our guys have been extremely receptive. It's been an incredible group to work with from that standpoint.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Cameron Buford with What's Good in Sports.
Good morning, Coach. I want to ask you about your couple years you had with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and kind of how you talk about his development, if you will, and that you've seen, and kind of what the ceiling is, if you can put a cap on his career.
Well, I mean, I give Shai a lot of credit because he's developed, you know, through every experience. Obviously, his first year here, he improved from the beginning of the year to the end. And then last year with us, you know, it was really impressive how he was able to function and yet remain impactful on a team that had a lot of different guys that could create and that had the ball in their hands. And then this year, obviously, he's taken a step, but I think the balance between creating and being aggressive and also helping the team to function when you're a primary ball handler, that's something that he's done a great job with. His defense has improved from last year to this year. And so it's all a byproduct of his approach. He's professional. He puts the work in. He loves the work. He's one of those guys. He not only loves to play, but he loves what goes into preparing to play. And that projects well. In terms of his ceiling, we don't really put a ceiling on any of our players. We just try to really, really root into our day-by-day process, root into a certain mindset and approach to the game and to the preparation and to learning from all the experiences. And then, you know, see where that takes our players. And you know, obviously Shai's a guy that has embraced that to this point and hopefully will continue to embrace it, and we'll see where it takes him.
Is there a model that you use for him? Ideally, you want him to be himself and kind of grow within your organization, but is there a specific model that you'd like to see him or that you share with him as for to be like this person or develop as this person does?
Well, I mean, you know, for all of our players, you know, the model is, you know, high level professionalism, understanding that they're all different, they're all unique, they're all people, they all have personal interests, and we really try to, you know, engage them on that level, both on an individual level and with the team. And then, you know, as they go through this competitive experience, it's about preparation, it's about competing, and then it's about learning from every single experience. And that's kind of our model with every player, while also, you know, bearing in mind that these guys are all unique, they're all different, and we try to embrace their unique qualities and not try to make them something that they're not. But in terms of a process, you know, we have a process that we're pretty committed to with all of our players, and they've done a great job of embracing it, and hopefully they see the individual benefits of it, Shai and everybody else.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Andrew Schlecht with Down to Dunk.
Well, one of the highlights of the season has been Lou Dort's three-point shooting. But I wonder, what are some specific ways you'd like to see him grow as an offensive player outside of shooting?
Yeah, you know, as I mentioned, obviously his percentage is great. He puts the work in. He's taking really good shots, you know, and so I think it's a reflection of that. But his development offensively transcends his shooting. You know, he's a guy that can really drive the ball. I think he can draw contact. He can play in pick and roll, which he's done a little bit for us. And he makes really good driving kick reads. You know, when he gets in there, for the most part, when there's two guys on him, he sprays it out. And, you know, those are kind of the ingredients for a guy that can be kind of a combo guard. And that's the way that we see him. And as you know, polished as he is defensively and impactful as he is defensively, he's still very much a developmental player on offense. And we try to make sure we see him like that and not take that for granted and understand he's still 21, 22 years old, whatever he is. And his runway is long, and he's still far away from his prime as a player.